This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined with the reigning defending Welsh welterweight champion, Lloyd Germain. Mate, we're 2 weeks out now. How are we? How's everything been with you?
Yeah, amazing. I appreciate your time and having me on, man. But yeah, I'm feeling great 2 weeks out, and I'm looking forward to going there and getting another win.
Yeah, obviously another time defending the Welsh title. Um, how would you sort of describe this camp being for you? Obviously, another big fight, another 10 rounder. How would you sort of describe the training and the levels, and how's it sort of been for you in turning your eighth professional fight?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm actually not defending the Welsh title on this.
Okay. Yeah.
I got an international opponent. I think I'm doing a 6 or 8 rounder.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same intensity every fight I go into. You know, every fight right now is my world title fight, and I make sure I give 100% in the gym. Make sure I'm 100% there, ready on fight night to go and get the job done. So yeah, its preparations have gone well, and I'm in a great place, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you look at your sort of preparation for your fight, how would you sort of say when you step up the levels every time, you know, in your first fight, your second fight, your third fight, how would you say your preparation has been from when you first started to then now you've got a lot more experience in like professional training camps?
It differs really. Obviously, I'm still as hungry as I ever was. Probably, if not, I'm hungry now, you know. Now I've won a title. I remember reading something before, someone saying the title's a title. Everyone's the same in a certain way, you know. Obviously, there's levels you have to go to get to the pinnacle in becoming a world champion. But once you've got a title, you're on the road there, you know what I mean? Ready to achieve more. And like I said, I'm hungrier now than ever. I've got a career plan in my head with my team as well, also, which the route we're going to go down and what we'd like to go through. And yeah, preparations, obviously they differ going from a 4-rounder to a 6-rounder to a 10-rounder. But it's the same, give 100% in the gym. And obviously it's staged as in you start with a 4-rounder. As you move up the rounds, obviously you get more experience, you learn how to go through the rounds differently, you know what I mean? And obviously preparations are always exactly the same for myself. I always make sure I'm 100% in the gym. Outside the gym, I'm 100%. And come fight night, I make sure I'm in the best shape, both physically and mentally, to go and get the job done, whether I'm doing a 4-rounder, 6-rounder, or a 10-rounder, or even doing a 12-rounder, you know?
Yeah. Because the thing is with you, when you sort of when you won the Welsh title, you went from like 4 rounds to 10 rounds. Was that a sort of difficult adjustment? And you went the full 10. How was that like as a sort of adjustment? Because it's very rarely seen. You'll see you'll see someone go from 4 straight to 10.
Five 4-rounders. I think I'm 5 4-rounders, and then it just went straight to a 10-round fight.
Yeah.
Actually, I may have had one 6-round fight just before, actually. But yeah, it was quite a big jump, to be honest. And obviously to win the title on my 6th professional fight, it was something I already knew I was going to do, you know. Yeah, going for 10 rounds. But, you know, on that day, I was so fueled. I could probably done 20 rounds.
Yeah.
And when the final bell went, I don't know if you've seen the video, I jumped for joy. I could have jumped through the roof of the event. It was just, yeah, it was a bit different. But I was so hungry. And like I am now, I'm so focused and so hungry to achieve everything I set out in boxing. And the rounds don't matter to me right now. I just go in there and get the job done, you know?
Is it one of these things where you saw when you won the title, when you get that taste of gold, it's a taste that you love so much and you just want more and more of it? Is it that's very much the case with you?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm a winner anyway, so I hate losing in anything I do.
Yeah.
But once I got my hand on that belt and brought it home to my kids and seeing how happy they were to have it, it was something I was never ever gonna forget. And it's something that I'll never ever give up, you know. And something I'm driven on to achieve more. Obviously now I'm current Welsh champion. I'm fighting 2 weeks today. Ready to go in there and get another win. And soon after that fight, soon after I get that job out of the way, I want to fight for the Celtic title, you know. I'm ranked 20th now in Britain. I think the champion who's Martin Hart, and he's 15th. And that'd be a fight I'd love to have, you know. Obviously winning the Welsh title and then winning the Celtic title puts me in line then for a British title eliminator. It's got to do, you know what I mean? So, though that's the career path I want, and that's the fight I do want next. But like I said, every fight right now is my world title fight. June 3rd, that's all I'm focused on. And then once I got the job done, June 3rd, I do want to get that Celtic title fight.
You just sort of talked about there about the Celtic title and the British title. When you look at sort of the domestic welterweights, you know, as it is, guys like yourself, even, you know, or sort of at the British level, Esserman, Congo, McKinson, where would you sort of talk about the division as a whole domestically? Would you say, you know, it's sort of right at the top where you see the British guys are challenging for potential world level soon?
Yeah, definitely. It's always been a great division, the welterweight division, just not obviously domestically and worldwide. You know what I mean? I think it's been some greats who have won titles as welterweight world champions. You know what I mean? And even domestically, I think it's full of a great group of fighters who all on their day could go on and become world champions. You know, see, I see Mikey McKinson. He's obviously a friend of mine. He comes to the gym sparring, and he went over to fight Victor Ortiz and showed him was not. He is that. He's at the top, and he's ready for a world title. You know what I mean? I think when he gets his break and against the right opponent, I believe he could win a world title. But yeah, like I say, it is a very good division, but I don't focus on the other people too much, to be honest. I focus on myself and my career path and where I want to get from the sport. But on the whole, I think the division is a great division to be in, you know.
Definitely, yeah. You just talked about McKinson there, and I think he's definitely a guy where you look at sort of the UK welterweights at the moment. Obviously, he's fighting next week, and it's funny because you said he was sort of friends with you. I always think, you know, when I've ever done interviews with him, I feel like this guy. Sometimes he don't always get the shine that he deserves, you know. And you saying it there when he went to Ortiz, it's a hard thing, you know.
It is, of course, but you look. I say to everyone, you keep winning, and no one can ignore you. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
People say, "Oh, you haven't got the best style, or you might not sell tickets." There's people, or there's this, or there's that. There's a lot of politics behind boxing, but one thing they can't ignore is wins. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, everyone likes to have a perfect record. Yeah, I'd love to continue to get a perfect record until I retire. The reality of it is, if you do have a loss in your career, it doesn't define where you go. Sometimes you lose to a better guy on the day. That's it. Obviously, that's never in my mind to go in the ring and lose. But obviously, on a whole, talking about losses, you look like McKinson's lost. He can still come back from the loss against Victor Ortiz, who is undefeated anyway. You know, so
Yeah.
he lost at the very, very top. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, that's what I'm always saying. You know, there's no problem in daring to be great and losing by it, you know. And you
Hmm.
just said there about the sort of the politics of boxing and you know how it works. Since you sort of turned over pro, because you think you're still under sort of 10 fights and you've got a title to your name, which is not a lot of people could say that. What would you say
Yeah.
you've learned a lot from, you know, just the 8 fights of your pro career so far, not just inside the ring, but outside as well? Would you say you've learned a lot?
Yeah, definitely. It's not all glitz and glamour. You know, people think, oh, you're a professional boxer and you hold the title or this or whether you hold the title, you don't. It is a very, very tough game to be in, you know. Obviously, I'm looking for my opportunity to get on these big shows and take the opportunity of both hands and make a name for myself from for my loved ones. And obviously progressing my career on the right platforms. You know what I mean? I think if you are on the right platforms, yeah, it can be easier. But when it's all said and done, no matter what platform you're on, you got to get in the ring and get the job done regardless. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who's promoting you or who's training you. I'm grateful to have a very good trainer, Tony Borge, who's guided me from a tiny amateur career to Welsh champion in my 6th fight, you know, and I stand by him, and with him in my corner, we're on to great things, you know.
How much would you say that is a testament to yourself that sort of 6 fights in, you're already fighting for a Welsh title, and where, you know, people might have 10, 11, 12 fights, however many fights, you know, double the amount of fights that you've had before they even fight for a title. But yourself, that you've only had 6 in, that's a good testament to yourself, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Like obviously say I don't sing my praises right now. I'd like to sit down at the end of my career when I've achieved everything I set out for and then say,
Yeah.
yeah, look, we've achieved it all. But I'm very honored to be champion of my country. Um, like I said, I won the Welsh title within 6 fights, which on my 6th fight, which is a great achievement. Just to win to win any title is a great achievement. But like we said at the start of the interview, all it's done is made me hungrier and more ambitious for more titles. And next, I want that Celtic title. I can't emphasize how much I've said to my manager, let's get the fight on. And I think he's pulling strings to see what he can do. And I'm calling for the fight myself. You know, like I said, most importantly, June 3rd, go and get the job done there. But once that's out of the way, I do want that Celtic title, and I just want to progress in my career correctly, and down the route which I've set out is to win a Welsh title, win a Celtic title, and get myself in line to win that British title.
Definitely. You just mentioned there, like talking about winning the Welsh title. How special of a day was that for you? The whole experience that went through it, and to get that belt on your name.
Oh, it was puts goosebumps on me on the back of my neck every time I say it, and not just saying it. I don't know if you know, but it was on a very, very special day for myself. Um, it was actually the anniversary of my brother's death. So for me to win a title on the anniversary of my brother's death, it's a day that'll live with me for the rest of my life. And
Mhm.
and I'm forever, forever grateful to win it on that day. It is a bittersweet day. One second, mate. What are they,
That's right.
okay? Come on. It is a bittersweet. It is like one of those bittersweet days. You know what I mean? I turned a bit of sadness into something happy, but the loss of him made me who I am today, and I've worn 20 on my shorts from my debut. For me then to go and win the Welsh title on May the 28th, it was a very special day for myself, and a day that I'll always remember.
How do you feel like sometimes in life you have it where the stars are sort of aligned and things, not even just in boxing, but in your life, sometimes there's just things, there's moments that happen, and obviously that's a tragic thing tragic with your brother passing, but then having an also like a special day as it is, that day as a whole must have been sort of special for you. And do you feel like sometimes in life these things are sometimes not, these like the stars just align at times?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm a strong believer in that, and everything happens for a reason, and when it's meant to, both for good and bad. But yeah, I said to my trainer, you could have put me in there with Bruce Lee, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, any of them on that day. I just felt I was never going to lose, no matter who the opponent was. You know what I mean? And credit to my opponent on the day; he was an undefeated fighter as well. He wanted it just as much as me, but his want wasn't enough for him to win it. My want was more than his, and there was no way I was never ever letting that chance slip. You know what I mean? It was a day for me to. The 28th of May has always been a tough day for me and all my family, obviously after losing my brother,
Mhm.
but it'll be a day now where, or I took the belt to his grave when I went after I
Yeah,
won it, and it was just like it was very surreal.
yeah,
It was something
100%.
like I was born 28 on my shorts, and I believe he watches over me every single time I step into those ropes, and every single day. But for me to win it on his anniversary was a day I'll never forget, and yeah, it was a special day.
You just talked about there, like you said, it's made you who you are. How much would you say the life experiences of tragic events, and not just the tragic events, but everything in your sort of life that has made you sort of just not only the boxer that you are today, but the sort of the man that you are today? Do you look back and think that this sometimes, like, not looking, obviously it's a horrible thing, but do you ever look and think like, look at it sometimes in a positive light, where I wouldn't be where I am today if these things didn't happen to me?
Yeah, of course. And I know it's hard to say because it's like you don't ever want to use, oh, if I didn't lose him, would I
Yeah.
be? But definitely what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And Tony Borge is actually related to my brother. I know it's
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah.
my trainer. I was training in Tony's gym. Cut a long story short, he said to my old man, even at the funeral, and he said, "Oh, tell your boy when he's ready to come up, and I'll be more than happy to help
Yeah.
him." And he's very talented, and I'd like to push him. Do you know what I mean? To achieve what he wants to. And it was one of those make or break situations. I could have went left or could have went right. I just went the right way for myself, which was I put everything I had into boxing, and for then it to pay off and we win a title on his anniversary was just it was like it was written for me, you know what I mean? And it showed,
Yeah.
like you say, my life experiences and the things I've been through, both good and bad, they've made me who I am to this very day. And I'm very grateful to have Tony who guides me both inside and out of the ring. And yeah, we want more titles now. That's
Yeah.
it. Like I said, I'm getting on in my career and I don't want to be waiting round. I know what I want from boxing and I want to win. I'm win on June 3rd, win the Celtic title, and get myself in line for a British title.
Yeah. So would you say now, where you look at your career, boxing is an individual sport, but do you feel like overall you have a lot more to fight for. Obviously, being having children as well, being a father, and everything that's happened. Do you feel like now the reason that you fight is even bigger than it's ever been before?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. Don't get me wrong, I love winning, so that's enough in his own. But I've
Yeah,
got people who rely on me now, who I don't just do this for myself. I do this to better their future, um, and to make sure I can secure a good future for them. You know what I mean? It's not easy waking up and running early in the morning and training twice a
yeah,
day, but without me putting the sacrifices and making sacrifices and putting the hard work in behind the scenes, it'll all pay dividends when my family and my loved ones are secure, you know what I mean? And yeah, I do definitely. I don't just fight for myself. I carry them on my back, and that's why every single fight I go into, I'm just a hungry, and I want it more than anything, you know.
yeah. When now you obviously hold the Welsh title, where would you say when you look at Welsh boxing now, you see Joe Cordina being a world champion, you look at the great Welsh champions in the past, guys like Joe Kawasaki, do you feel like sort of that this is a special time for Welsh boxing overall? There's a lot of people that a lot of Welsh boxers that hold numerous titles in numerous weight divisions. Do you think it's a great time for the boxing in general?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Joe's a very good friend of mine. Outside of boxing and inside of boxing, he's a very good friend of mine, and he's done great things for Welsh boxing. I believe he's now brought Welsh boxing back to the big stage. You know, again, Gavin Gwynn, he's my
Yeah,
stablemate, he's British champion, and he's doing great things for Welsh boxing. You know what I mean? These guys are. I've trained alongside Gavin since I've turned professional. He's won a Welsh title like myself, and now look at the position where he's in. You know, Lee Selby, also a good mate of mine,
yeah,
trained with him, and he's someone I looked up to very, very much. He taught me a lot about boxing, you know, and taught me what's right, what's wrong, and what I should be doing, and what I need to do. I picked up a lot of things from him, you know, and he's someone I'd like to follow in the footsteps of winning a Welsh title, winning a Celtic title. He went down the domestic route. He won a
yeah.
British title. He won a European title. And then obviously got to the pinnacle and won a world title. But yeah, definitely Welsh boxing is on the up, and I'm glad to be a part of it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say being a part of that. Also, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by saying like I was talking about Joe and Gavin. Obviously, you
Yeah,
are a massive part of that as well. But it's
of
also good to
course.
see, like, yeah, good to see guys like Lee and take sort of like friends, but the friends that you can take inspiration from. Is it good to sort of
Most
have that?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. And like you say, I am a part of that, but where what they've got is more than what I've got right now. So
Yeah,
they make me hungrier to get
yeah,
that. But like I said, I know what the route we want to take. Me and my team, we know what we want from boxing. You know, we know which route it is, and we know that that Celtic title is winning. That'll put me in a great stead to win a British title. You know.
absolutely. So just as we sort of close this off, I mean, you made it pretty clear what happens sort of in the next couple 6 months, not only on June the 3rd, but
Yeah,
for the rest of the year, just to close off what happens, for the rest of 2023 and on June the 3rd as well.
most definitely. And obviously, I've got my eyes set on my own goals, and I'm not going to be happy until I achieve them. So
Yeah,
those are the things I've set out from boxing, and those are the things I will be achieving. You know.
absolutely. Lloyd, honestly, just wanted to say, mate, I really appreciate you sort of taking the time to speak to me. And yeah, all the best for sort of June the 3rd, mate. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Oh, massive thank you, and appreciate you having me on. Big thank you to everyone who tunes in and watches. Big thank you to everyone who's been supporting me, and I want to say a massive shout out to each and every one of my sponsors. You know, without them, none of this would be possible. And when I win, we win. June 3rd, 8-0 incoming.
Definitely. Lloyd, thank you for your time, mate. Really appreciate it.